So how about we get those subscriber numbers, Warner Media? What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. All right, well, time for another box office. Wow, look at this. How many box office reports has there been now? Man, it's crazy doing these box office videos again, even though we're just mainly talking about one movie. Let's not like a bullshit you. I mean, we're mainly talking about Wonder Woman 1984 because, well, I mean, that's the big one that's out there. I mean, as soon as more movies get out, of course, I'll be reporting and talking about the numbers. But it's just going to be weird. It's going to be interesting to report all this because obviously, yes, we can look at the box office, but again, there's still many movie theaters closed, and the big markets are closed too. So and just shit that is happening and everything like that. Because some headlines are literally like saying pandemic and then U.S. Capitol riot. I'm like, really, like people are just not going to the movies like over on the West Coast where there's like movie theaters open or like in other states, but they're worried to not go there because of the Capitol riots. All right. To me, I think they're just like, hey, we gotta mention pandemic and we gotta mention that. I mean, you gotta love how journalism is now. It's like, hey, let's throw those two things in the headlines. Really kind of doesn't make too much sense to me, but whatever. That's not me. I'm not a journalist. I just talk shit into a microphone and that's all. Anyways, so let's look at the numbers right here. And of course, they're not good, which we suspected, and it's perfectly fine. But it dropped another 45.5%. It made $3 million in the United States. The crude's also dropped. Everything's pretty much dropping. War with Grandpa. Took a little bit of a spike there, I guess. But $131.4 million right there. Okay, so that's what it's made. 32.6 domestically, which it's bad, but I mean, given the times it is, of course, we have to take that in consideration. But it just seems like I know there were some people out there that were thinking, throwing shade at Christopher Nolan, and wondering like when he released Tenet a few months back. And those numbers and everything like that. But if you actually look at those numbers, I mean, we can go look at Tenet. I don't know if we're going to see it here. Hold on. Let's see where Tenet is right here. I should have had it up already. Sorry, guys. But if you look at Tenet, 362.9. See, I mean, it's not going to even come close to that. It's interesting. Look at those international numbers. 305. It's crazy. But it's just kind of interesting because, before Wonder Woman 84 came out, I mean, I was hoping that those international markets were going to like be stellar. But at the same time, more closures happen, more lockdowns. You got to take all that into consideration. So where are the numbers when it comes to streaming? That's another question that we have to ask too. I mean, if we're going to be like, if this new way of how we're doing things, which I'm totally thinking it's pretty much the only way, just the way, I'm just wondering, like, are we going to get constant numbers weekly, subscriber numbers? And the thing that I asked last week when I was reporting about Wonder Woman 84's box office was, what was the drop? What's that drop in subscribers? Because, people do that. Like I said, I talked to my aunt and uncle after they watched Wonder Woman 84. They said that they probably were just going to drop HBO Max because they didn't have anything else that they were looking forward to, unless they, took a trip through that library and saw some things that they maybe have liked and everything like that. Yeah, that's what I'm curious about too, is like when these big movies come out, when do people just drop them, And I mean, everything was looking pretty good leading up to Wonder Woman 84's released, and everybody was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's got this many subscribers. Oh, it took a spike right here, and it's just like, okay, cool. But now let's hear some more stuff. Is this stuff working? Can we please? That's what I'm just kind of wondering right here. And I'm like, how it baffles my mind because, of course, everybody's saying that, no, Wonder Woman's a flop. It's a box office flop. It's like, well, yeah, but there's a reason for that. There's a pretty big reason for that. Okay. I love it when the same assholes, the same fucking guys still like would just like, they just want to toss every movie into the flop category. They're still doing it, even though, Look around. Look what's happening. Huh? Keep your mask on. But it's just like, yeah, it kind of, I just kind of noticed that. It's like, why are the same guys always like out to just, and it never went into a Marvel movie. That's why I was like hoping that Black Widow would just, I really would love for Feige, Disney, Marvel, MCU, like to release Black Widow, see what happens. So then we can kind of gauge like, certain reactions and everything like that, release Black Widow in a pandemic, see what happens. And then, but dual release it on Disney Plus, see what happens. But at the same time, Disney Plus is that they do show the good numbers. It's like HBO Max hopefully can show better numbers, but it's just like, I don't know. It's a little interesting. It's a little interesting. I just don't know how do we report it when they're not giving us the numbers quite yet, even though like there was the numbers of like, oh yeah, it was streamed the most 24-hour period more than any movie. Cool. But it's like, I just want to know if there was like a drop in subscribers after it came out. Is it still staying pretty steady? Is it going to be climbing even more when they're announcing more stuff? It's all going to be very interesting with everything. I mean, of course, we've got all these releases that are coming out. Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be another big release, but even before that, probably is going to be like Tom and Jerry and all. I don't know. It's all just it's just baffling. It's just weird to see people's reactions, to see the headlines, the doom and gloom headlines, as always. And I just want to know, like, okay, so how do we now report box office? How do we know how do we gauge whether this movie is actually doing good? And I mean, there's like articles coming out like after the whole thing, and filmmakers and actors and people just like part of these movies are not happy with the whole new paradigm of everything. It's like, oh yeah, but how do we get paid? Because, I usually like whatever, I get a portion of that box office. Now I'm not going to be getting that. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, don't worry. We're just going to pay you without even like, okay, cool. They're just going to pay them. Even if nobody's watching, cool. Good for you. You guys actually benefited. You guys actually benefited out of all this. That's interesting. So no matter how good your movie does, you're still going to get paid, at that back end. Interesting. It's all crazy. It's all weird and crazy right now. And I'm just like, when I was just looking at it all and looking at, the information and looking at the timeline and how people are perceiving all this, it's just like, it's all just strange, even with all the good headlines that said about Wonder Woman in the 24-hour period and the fact that it was streamed more than all the movies last year. Yeah, that's good. That's good. But then it's like, but how does that correlate to the money that's coming in with the subscribers, with the monthly stuff and everything? Is there going to be some kind of change? I don't know. Are they going to release numbers and show that, yeah, it actually did benefit with this, or are they just not going to say anything? Or are they going to say like little, like different things? They're not going to have broken down numbers. I brought that up last week too. It's like Netflix is so big, they can have those broken down numbers, regions, age groups, and who's, the drop offs. They could do all that. HBO Max is still trying to, it's the little engine that could. They're still trying to get up there with them. And so obviously they don't want to post bad numbers because that's just going to kill it. And, I plan on being subscribed to HBO Max for the whole year. I'm not going to drop my subscription. Definitely not going to do that. I mean, it kind of makes you wonder too, is like maybe the $14.99, I think I'm paying a little bit less. I think I'm paying because I joined up when it was like a couple dollars off or anything. Anyways, maybe that was a little too much, but of course they have people that analyze all that and, and they think about, I don't know. It's all just weird. It's all just weird. I remember just like, in 2019 and before that, it was like, okay, movie comes out. Let's look at the numbers. Box Office Mojo, number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. Cool. Determine that, whether a movie's doing good or not. Compare that to the budget. And then, of course, you have to, budget times 2.5 or whatever the hell. So you had all that. Now it's just like, what? Is this movie okay? I mean, I just... And, I hate the fact that there's the same assholes that are just jumping at saying that this movie is a complete and utter failure. And I'm just like, I don't know. And then you go back and look at the first weekend and all of a sudden they're just like, hey, it was great. Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, they're coming back for Wonder Woman 3. That's right. That's how good it did. But at the same time, it's like, did you guys just like do that just to make it seem? Or are they really good? I mean, do you have some numbers, some broken down numbers? It's just going to be, I don't know. It's so weird, man. So weird. But you know what? We got to roll with the fucking times, man. I guess we'll see. And I don't know. We'll see what happens with the next one and everything. So anyways, guys, I've been rambling like crazy. It's just what I do, but it's just funny seeing the timeline today. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about it down below. What do you think about all this? Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm doing this stuff. Hit that join button if you want to join the Film Junkie membership and everything. So yeah, I'll do that. Actually, I'll probably be posting a video too, strictly to the members after I'm done here, just to say hi and stuff like that. Anyways, so do that. Follow me in the Sock Meds down below, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you want to like the Facebook page, go for it. And then, of course, Patreon, if you want to help out the pirate ship doing that, I surely would appreciate it. You get some exclusive stuff on there, like stuff I'm working on. And then, of course, merchandise down below. So go get yourself a hoodie. All right, talk to you later.